Hey, Blue Table fans, Shawn here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about what a vision board is and what I've done with vision boarding. It's a very old concept. I'm pretty sure it goes back probably thousands of years, and there are lots of different sources for finding out about it. I'm sure a lot of people have different opinions and ways to go about it. I'm just going to tell you what I've done, and a lot of people have asked me on the channel and also on Facebook what it is that it's all about. And so, you know, I'm just going to give you my personal perspective with no editing. So anyway, a traditional vision board is relatively simple. You just take like magazine clippings of things that you find inspirational, that you like. Maybe you see a picture of a house that you're interested in. There can be goals regarding, not goals, but you could have I guess a vision for fitness. And so a lot of vision boards that I've seen are on just on cardstock or whatever it is. And it's just pictured, kind of pasted up there. And maybe maps of places that you might like to go. Now, another common form of vision board, which I find a little bit uninspiring, is like on a cork board. And so if you go on eBay, this is the kind that you will find something like this. And I think this comes from an old Tibetan thing where it's like each area is a different part of your life, like finances or relationships or shelter, whatever it is. So, when I started doing this, I was told, don't let it get too big, don't have too many things on it. You have to focus. And I'm like, to heck with focus. I want it to be awesome. So I just started doing my own thing. One way that I've heard about it, that I originally heard about this, is that you would take painter's tape and you would colored. This is blue, which is a common kind, and you just put up a rectangle or a square, and then you put your objects in that. And so that's what a vision board is. Behind me, you can see mine. And by the way, this is about a fourth of it. This whole room has stuff on it. And so the first thing is, if I were to give some advice or kind of a how to do it, and by the way, I just know there's a couple of people that are going to greatly benefit from this, and I would love to hear about your experiences. But that's going to go against the first thing I'm going to say right off the bat is be very careful of outside opinions about your vision board. In fact, I would encourage you to not tell anybody about it, especially in the beginning. I've had mine going for at least over a year now, and I'm still just barely strong enough to have anybody even look at it. And of course, I'm hoping my camera quality is bad enough that you can only see blur back here. So I've divided mine into home and recreation, personal, people. People is the biggest one, and then business, which is actually an entire wall, and yeah. So be careful. You may not even be able to put it up on a wall because you may be in a situation where there's other people in every area of your house. In my case, really, the rest of my family doesn't come in here very much. But really, there's not a human on the planet that knows what all this stuff represents. And so in a way, mine is a little bit coded. I know what it means. So that's one thing. I have another company and another YouTube channel called compassvisionworks. I haven't done anything with it yet. Obviously, I have my hands full of blue table painting. But compassvisionworks is, we're going to focus on this type of stuff. And I was like, this would be a great business. How could there be money involved? But then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start it for fun because it's really neat. People can sure use this, and I'm going to explain why as we go along. Okay, so basically you just find, oh, the business thing. Yes, but it occurred to me, really, you can just, anybody can do this with just an internet connection and a printer. And, and you start searching for images on whatever topic it may be, for example, food or transportation. And really, as I was formulating mine, I found out everything just fell into the basic categories. It's food, shelter, and love. And, the other basics. So, yeah, be careful of outside egos. You might want to keep it like in a book. Or it may be that your atmosphere is so toxic and so negative that you'll have to like keep it in your wallet, or you have to like hide it somewhere and just have these, print things out that are interesting to you. I'm going to explain more about that. And in fact, a vision board at the lowest level can be viewed as simply a goal-setting tool. Or like, for example, when you build a house, an architect thinks it over and does like a blueprint, and then you actually start building it according to that. How dumb would it be to get going and not have a blueprint? Just kind of like, oh, okay, well, this works over here, and not have a plan. Well, I think a lot of people go through their lives like that, and it's pretty uninspiring. It's easy to get tipped over when you don't have your center. It's hard to tell when things are askew. If you have a blueprint, well, if something's a foot off. You look at the thing, you measure it, you see if it actually matches up to what it is you put on the blueprint. So a vision board has a great usefulness really on that absolute most basic level. Now, for me, the next level up is like a mental health tool to help you sort through thoughts and feelings. And then I believe in the most extreme version of it, a very metaphysical or spiritual version, which is I believe that my mind is an interface with the reality around me. And I actually, whatever it is that I choose to think and feel will be reflected back in my experiences that I have. And in a case like that, a vision board is a majorly powerful tool because it helps your mind focus. The vision board will help your brain get into gear. And, oh man, I've had a great experience with this. Can't wait to tell you all about it. However, I'm only going, long story short, you just put up things. Let me just show you a few things up here. Okay, wow, this is all kind of personal. All right, for example, I put like a future, that's really not coming off. I put family. So, sometimes I'll do like a little vignette. My great-granddaughter taking care of kids in the family. Or a car. So I had my dream car, and for 8 months I had this up on my vision board. This is back when it was kind of crusty and I just used regular paper and a Sharpie and stuff like that. Chevy Equinox. Well, I've been driving this car, and it seemed impossible for me to acquire this. I didn't even know how I was going to do it. But anyway, I'm driving my Chevy Equinox around now for just over a year. And the vision board really helped me stay focused, get motivated to go out and do the things needed to have it happen. But again, I believe there's actually a much higher and more powerful force that this sort of thing invokes, so that you can go beyond yourself with it. So anyway, so car. And the beauty is you don't have to settle. Some people are afraid to set goals because they that for fear of the pain of not achieving them, the pain of failure, the sense of failure. But with the vision board, it's great because I should have said this at the beginning. The point of the vision board is to answer what, not how. Don't even worry. And that's the hardest thing. At first, I so struggled with that because I put something up there. I'd be like, there's no way I can get that. I'm just gonna pare it down. I would pare them down like from 100 to 20. I just pare those things down. I mean, for finances, my original vision board, I just added up all my debts and was like, okay, well, that's a lot of money. That's how much money I want. Really, that was the inspirational thing I came up with, was to be as well off as I was when I had graduated high school. You know, there's got to be something inspirational about it. And so you have to kind of mind trip yourself with it, because you approach it like a game. Don't think, all right, I'm going to put this stuff up there and I'm going to do it. I'm going to find out a way and I'm going to make it happen. No. A, that won't be fun. B, you'll defeat the purpose. And C, if there is a higher sort of, strength that you can get from it, like, how to explain this? So if there's a miraculous element to it, then let it be something huge. Who knows? Guys, keep your eyes on me, because I can feel this stuff brewing, and some of it's already just started to drop, just like rain, those few drops of rain before the torrent. I can just feel it. So, to continue, let it be fun. When I'm in my vision room, I am like Lord God Almighty in here. If I don't like something, I'm like, I don't like that jet. I like this jet instead. And with the power of the internet, this can be so fun, because you find out information about anything. Like right now, I know all about private islands, and just because I was like, whee, this is fun. Let's find out about this. So the question behind the vision board is, if you could have your life any way you wanted it without any limitation, how would that be? And it's more challenging than you might think, because your brain is a slippery little organ. Inner voices will come and limit you. They can be voices from your past, they can be other people, they can be you, they can be voices from your present. I used to have, when I was first doing my vision board, I would have imaginary arguments with people in my head, explaining to them how it could happen and why I wasn't off my rocker. Doesn't matter. Once you get past that, then it just becomes a sheer delight. It's fun to do this. And again, it's what, not how. Later on, you might ask why. What is the real motivation, or what is that I'm really after? And so that is a vision board. And really, I just realized anybody can do this. You can go to the hardware store and get some tape. And one thing, I did notice this one thing. You got to be careful, because if you use duct tape, sometimes it's so strong it can take pieces of paint off of the wall. And then this stuff sometimes isn't. It's meant to come off easily after you paint it, and this sometimes isn't strong enough. So you got to find a good tape to do it. And basically, I got cardstock and my printer ink recharged, and I just go for it, and it's fun. I just went in and I just add to it. I kind of pick away at it. I change things. It is just such a creative delight. Okay, folks, check the liner notes for a link to my Compass Vision Works YouTube channel, because I'm going to continue talking and tell you absolutely everything I know about this. And if you're interested, go ahead and head over to the other site. All right, so let's continue. So now you're over at Compass Vision Works, and my goal is to put up one video every day, even if it's short. The habit is important, folks. Don't kill yourself over doing a great job at first about anything. For example, 4 months ago I started exercising, and at first I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let anybody else be around when I'm doing this. I'm gonna do whatever seems fun and natural to me, and I just got in the habit. My only goal was just to do it at all once a day. So if it was like 10 minutes, great, 10 minutes, and because I knew my brain is kind of lazy. And I knew that if I, had a workout buddy who was there to kick my butt, that it really wouldn't work. Okay, so a vision board. First off, I believe in the highest version of this, which is the vision board is a tool to focus my mind, my thoughts, and my feelings. And that reality around me is interfaced with my human form. I'm seeing, tasting, thinking about, experiencing. And you know what? You can be in a very dark place, and it's like shutting your eyes tight. There might be light everywhere. Things might be really going great. But if it's dark inside, oh, that is such a great darkness. Not great, such a huge darkness. But if your eyes are open and you're allowing good things to come to you, boy, that light can just be so absolutely delicious. Well, that was a little esoteric there, but by the way, I'm going to fiddle with this tape. This is really helping me out, helping me concentrate. Okay, so I'm not going to show you very much with my vision board, maybe a few things as an example. And the reason is you can't be influenced by me. And if you keep doing this, because I've spent some serious time on this, every picture up here, there's at least 500 that I looked at and were not inspiring. And it can be a great tool for self-examination. It's really absolutely amazing. I've had such a good time with this. So let me show you the different kinds of things that you can have up there. First off, let's see here. Okay, let's look over here. Let's just take a little gander. Hold on, gotta adjust my thing. Okay, see that square there? That's what I call my focus board, and that's what I'm currently concentrating on. And it's important to not, you've got to put up things here that are, oh, by the way, I'm telling you how to do it. So, okay, well, that's kind of breaking one of the rules, which is do it how you want to do it. You might think of something different than this. You might decide to do everything the size of a postage stamp and carry it in your wallet, because every single person in your life is toxic. Well, guess what? If what I think is your surroundings are a reflection of what's going on inside you, and your expectations and your hopes and your fears. And so what that means is, if that's correct, it means that you can change your environment by changing your thoughts and feelings, and you can control and decide your thoughts and feelings. You can choose to remember something in a different way. You can choose to anticipate something good or bad. You can choose what you think about. And it's slippery. Your brain is a real tricky item. But if you persist in your efforts, you can achieve dream control. It's one of my favorite song lines. I think I'm a little bit off of my mark here. Okay, here we go. So anyway, so this was very hard for me to do. I actually put off making this video for, oh man, for a long, every day I just like find some excuse not to do it, because it's very personal. Again, I'm hoping this is out of focus enough to, so there's not too much detail here. And because the fact is, people aren't going to approve of how you're running your life. But who cares? They don't got to live your life. They don't have to be inside your head. You do. You've only got one shot at this. This life it's one way. And so, are you going to live life just kind of accepting whatever drops? Or are you going to set some standards? And this is setting standards. Oh man. Oh my, warning, this could change your life big time. Okay, so, all right. Let me just show you a few items here. Again, this is real personal, so let's see. Okay, this comes from Napoleon Hill, and there's no picture associated with this. It's What I Will Do. So I read a book by Napoleon Hill. It's called Think and Grow Rich, one of the greats. And he says, hey, find a purpose in life, the thing you're going to do to better the world for you being in it. So mine is create businesses to For meaningful jobs, put resources to good use, influence the world for good by speaking for liberty and providing inspiration and mentoring. And the fun part, excuse me, ultimate role-playing and wargaming. And Valhalla, which I've actually done, went out and did it. Oh man, you know what's great? Because if you get into this and it changes your mindset, you will find yourself doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do. You know, I was in Salt Lake last week looking at a $1.2 million studio. And it was ridiculously amazing. And but what was funny is, because I went out there, because I put myself out there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be doable. This doors could open up for it. It could all come together. Ways that I didn't consider before have just kind of opened up before me. And I don't know exactly how it's all going to happen. That's the secret, is it's only what, not how. Because in the world of the vision board, you are a god. You can change anything you like. Don't like this element? Out it goes. In comes a new thing. Prefer this to be gone entirely? Great. Pick something new. Oh, it's fantastic. So anyway, what I will do, then I was thinking, God, because I put this empire, guys, see the business, and I have 10 businesses up here, and which I call the empire. And what's funny is a picture I made business, like there's full on like spreadsheets and how the inventory levels will have to be. That gets into how, but I've backed up a lot of this because ideas start coming. They just start kind of trying to fill the gap. It's like a Jell-O mold comparison I've made before, which is, you don't pour the Jell-O on the counter. Don't get it in order. You make the Jell-O. You pick your Jell-O mold first, then you pour the Jell-O in, and the Jell-O mold in this case represents your thoughts and the plan that you've made. Then the resources are all going to come. So in a way, yes, count your chickens before they hatch. Go count them. Plan a chicken coop. Start brainstorming a chicken farm and be like, all right, I'm going to have 10 million eggs a year. And so let's see here. So for example, on the business end, I've got a little thing here. compassvisionworks. The logo is Find Your Way. There's my staff, pretty small staff, just a bunch of fun people there. Very excited to work with them. Sometimes I talk to them. Got to get excited about your vision board. I'm just like, hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. And so let's see here. Let's do another one. Oh, here we go. So the 10 businesses is empire. So, oh, and by the way, I work out in this room now, and that's fantastic. Oh, I do my reps by millions. And then the whole house can hear it through the air vents. You know, me just counting it. I play some inspirational music. Oh, let's lift. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. So anyway, here you go. The Empire has a tech team headed up by world-class professionals. Awesome. A statement. This is called an affirmation. So there's that one. Oh, I have my virtues here. Because when I explored my soul, I'm like, well, what virtues really, you know, are meaningful to me? And I came up with this: daring, creativity, and persistence. And you think like honesty, responsibility, you know, that kind of thing, compassion. Oh no, those are important too. But those are kind of intrinsic. Those sprout from the deepest part of you. These are like, this is stuff that you do. This is all action stuff right here. So, you know, so if I get a resume that's on a different color paper, daring, creativity. If somebody calls me back for a job, it's persistence. I value those. Value that. And I think you can blow through almost any obstacle with these three things. Daring, creativity, and persistence. So I have that up there. All right, just a few other things. Okay, so first off, some people that I've worked with, very few, it's like there's this fear. It's like, well, what if I decide I want this thing and then when I get it, I don't really want it? Okay, this is a world without limitation. And I meant the world of the vision board, is an imaginary world, and there's the real world. I believe both are without limitation. So it's okay. You might get that thing, or that relationship, or whatever it is, or that virtue, and then you might decide you want something different or better. Because the best car I could think of that would be so amazing if I could have any car in the world was a Chevy Equinox. But now I have broadened my horizons and set my goal like a little bit higher. So anyway, this is my Sapphire Spur Bentley. Oh, with magnolia leather and imperial blue leather. Oh yeah. Oh baby. So, and I like to put sayings on things, like I'm flying high when I'm riding my Bentley, which don't get pulled over, I guess. So anyway, yeah, there's absolutely no limitation. Yeah, do not worry. And it's because right now I'm just like, I bet people are going to judge me. It's like, you want that car? That's not good for the environment. That's going to deplete the ozone. You could buy that thing and do the same thing for a lot of people. It's like, you know what? No. If there's unlimited resources, then, okay, see, I'm already starting an argument. Doesn't matter. This is the world of the vision board. Anything goes. And boy, I'm not breaking any laws here. But I am, if I decoded it, I would be breaking some social conventions. So anyway, to continue, the other part is, I thought, well, what kind of person would I need to be? And it kind of instigated this bout of self-examination where I was like, God, what kind of person am I? You know, who is going to be diligent in administering this, in working with people? And so I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be so much better. So I started creating like an alter ego, and I made a list of things that I want to achieve and become. And so I have that written down. And so I'm just going to read. There's like 20 things on here, maybe more. I'm just going to read a few. So, for example, I am an unfailing provider for my loved ones. I am merciful. I have complete health and strength in mind and body. I take others' feelings into account. I have a pleasing tone of voice. I always have plenty of money. That is a great affirmation. Love that. Affirmations is a completely separate topic. It's where you state something clearly about how it is. And plenty about that on YouTube, I'm sure. So, yeah, you gotta have stuff up here that's inspirational, where you're just like, yeah, that's awesome, I love it. I just get like awesome. So, all right, let me think if there's anything that I missed. Oh, and by the way, I'm trying to get rid of saying That's one of the goals. So how to actually get started. So what you do is you would find a location for your vision board, and you would, so again, it could be very small. It could be something that really needs to be hidden. I can't stress that enough. Don't go to other people. Don't do it. Don't be like, oh, look at this thing that I'm working on. Because then it's like part of you is going to want their approval. Don't want anyone's approval. Do it very, very, very quietly. And, you know, you might just be like, well, there's so-and-so, the one person in my life I can share everything with. No, not this. Not this. If you're going to tunnel to your very core and find out who you are and what you really want, that's a solitary journey, folks. You do that alone. And if you let outside opinions come in, they're going to knock you over. They're going to color. They're going to color. Even if you let them in while you're doing it, you're like, mother would never approve. So-and-so would never approve, whoever it is. Doesn't matter. Once you get into the swing of this, and by the way, I would say at least 6 months of going at it. And by the way, you may feel some frustration at first, because that part of you is just going to be like, oh, how are you going to do this? What makes you think you can do this? And there were times when I would just like pound my fist on my vision board. I hate you, because I'd be so frustrated. But you know what? That all came from inside. And when I started working on my happiness level, and I started like really getting excited about it and not worrying so much about the how. And that does come, you know, especially on the focus board. The focus board is things that are simpler, more achievable. And you know what? Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Because I have a whole section for stuff that's happened. And get some stuff that's achievable. And it's okay. I mean, you don't want to have your vision board being so uninspiring that it's like, get a candy bar today, you know, but maybe you can throw candy bar up there just to get a win. Just to kind of, it's to build your faith and build your confidence and build your hope and build your optimism until that just becomes so strong that it's crowding out these other voices. I hardly ever feel frustrated or disappointed or angry anymore because I have been working on this. And you've got to work it just like a muscle. You can't, you know, just get off the couch after 20 years of dilapidation and decide you're going to run 5 miles and then fall weeping by the roadside because you can only make it 2 blocks. Well, it's the same with your brain. Your brain has possibly had a lifetime of dilapidation, of watching television shows 5 seasons at a time on Netflix. Yes, I'm talking to you. Where there were stupid people, where everything was going wrong, and they're getting in shouting matches. One drama after another. And filling your head with this. But guess what? You can clear that pretty quick. And by the way, I have almost entirely stopped watching television, but I've replaced it with something else, which I'll tell you about on another video. So anyway, let's take a look at, let's see here. Here you go. My bike helmet. So I've got that. Managed to get a bike helmet. So here's another one. There was a point where I put up this picture. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. So you can have archetypes. So one thing to watch out for is what's called dictating form, which means that you want a certain something, but you want it to happen in a certain way. Or you want a relationship of whatever kind it is, but you want that particular person. Well, no, you can't. And that is, you can't make other people feel or be or do or think a certain way. Because they have their own right of consciousness. Can't be done. You can get somebody like that. So anyway, so archetypes. So I just put up, I have on my computer, I've got files and files and files of just pictures I found that were inspiring, that I liked. And sometimes I don't even know where they're going to go. Like I have a whole section of the board where I just have some pictures that I printed out, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to plug those people and things in. So anyway, so this is one last year. In fact, I have it dated. It was May 2013, so over a year ago. So I wrote down my new friend, a believer in this stuff, somebody I could talk to about these things in the books. And you know what's funny is the person that materialized looked like this. And it was somebody that I knew professionally. And one day I'm going to work in my car, and it just pops into my head. It's like, call so-and-so. And I'm like, all right, here we go. So I was like, hey, have you read any good books recently? And she's like, oh, I've read this book and this book. And I'm like, yes, just this kind of stuff that I love. So isn't that great? I love that. That's fantastic. So I have a whole section for that. And so I have archetypes. So I just put up a picture that's kind of like, I don't know who that's going to be. And I also have vignettes, which are like little scenes that are, I gotta go outside because it's raining and I love that, from Oregon. So anyway, an archetype. So for example, I always had this dream that I'd have a personal assistant. Okay. So my PA here, see, Picture? She's giving me the thumbs up, and she's saying something. So that's another thing. So you put little quotes and stuff on here. It could be a quote of something that's inspirational, of a song, or of a famous person. And it could be a quote that you make up, that this person is saying that to you. Sometimes I put things that I'm saying to them. Or I write something about them. Like, you know, my such and such can always be trusted. So anyway, she's saying, that's an awesome idea, Shawn. She's putting money in my wallet. Awesome. I'm loving that. So let's continue. And sometimes the vignettes are like of the future. So I have one where my kids find love, you know, and I don't know. I'm not dictating to them how to live their life or to find love ever. But to me, it's inspirational, and I like it. So. So for example, my many grandchildren grow up with plenty and security, a world of opportunity. Isn't that fun? Those guys are having a good time. So what's funny is doing this has given me such optimism for the future that I'm just like, this is great. And you know what? Every single human being has the ability to do this for themselves. You've got to start here. For things to change, you must change. Be the change you want to see in the world. It starts with you. It starts inside your own mind. I'm going like this. This is where you think. So anyway, anything? Yeah, I have goals for clothes that I was like, okay, if I could have clothes, any type that I wanted, well, what would it be? There is a limiting factor out there that you might want to watch out for, is this idea, and it's pretty ingrained in the fabric of society, which is if you have something, you're depriving somebody else. Like there's only these limited resources, and I'm not going to argue it, but I am going to say what I believe. And I believe that when I look up at the night sky, that is an almighty big universe. And I believe we've only scratched the surface of the potential of just this one world. And if mankind really wanted to get out there, that we could. We could organize things so much better. So the question is, well, I talked about it earlier, what good am I going to do for the world? Otherwise, I'm just sitting on the couch and putting 2 dumps a day into the river. I gotta be inspired about something, to go do something. It's gonna be awesome. And it's gonna be fun to be around me because of the person that I'm becoming, because of the people that are around me, because of the resources and influence that I have. And I'm excited for that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome when I come in here every day and get excited about it. So I've been doing this for somewhere between 14 and 18 months. And my first vision board was, I'm a little embarrassed for it, quite frankly. It was black Sharpie only on squares of paper. And no pictures, no illustrations. So, you know, and I put up the coolest things that I could think of at the time. And so I would encourage you to try this out, and try it out in your own way, in your own terms, and don't let anybody know about it. You might even be tempted to contact me and say, "Oh, Shawn, look at this thing that I did." Oh, don't let my opinion come into it. Don't do it. Now, if you need some advice and you want to tell me, you know, that you're doing anything, great, awesome, but only you can answer those questions of how you would like your life without limitation. Well, that's all I have to say. So thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow.
God's eye.
Oh, I missed it. What? That's not right. Look at you two.
It's actually over.
Sure, having a good time. Oh, that's here. Come, let's see you.
Dad. We already found 3.
Let's see your hair. Hold on, I'm trying to record your hair. Yeah?
And I record my nails. It's like a hole.
Oh, cool.
Dad,
awesome.
want to see how tiny baby worms are? They're that tiny.
Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing.
I named her Squirmy because she's
Squirmy the wormy?
All of your worms squirmy.
Wow. Oh, I'm loving this weather.
I know, it's awesome, right?
Yep, it sure is.
Water poo.
It still is, yeah.
Hey,
A little bit.
hey, Griffin, want to see how tiny baby worms are? They're this tiny.
Hey. It's good times. It's pretty beautiful, all right.